NC State is flying under the radar, and I think that's a good thing for them. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Welcome to another college football podcast. If you love talking college football, or in this case, NC State football, I hope you'll subscribe and pass it along. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, so it is free, and I do appreciate it. Dave Doeren is going into season number 14. He's the winningest NC State football coach in their history. He's had 4 8-win seasons, 4 9-win seasons, and overall, things are really consistent. The bad news for the Wolfpack is that they haven't had a 10-win season since 2002 when they had a guy named Philip Rivers running things. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. I think he was kind of successful. Now, I'm not talking trash to you. My Clemson Tigers, they couldn't get a 10-win season for over 20 years. This year could be the year. Let me give you a few reasons why. Both your offensive and defensive coordinators are going into year 2. So, hey, you got the first-year blues out of the way. That's a good thing. But here's one of the biggest reasons why. I think you're going to have a solid season this year and maybe hit that 10-win mark. C.J. Bailey. Now, this 6'6" monster, he could have went anywhere in the transfer portal, and I'm going to leave it there. But you retain him, and good job on retaining him. Let's talk about his numbers from last year. He threw for 3,105 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Now, he does have a few players coming back on the offensive side of the football, but you do retain, this is very important, 3 offensive linemen, which is very big. Why? It's protecting C.J. Bailey, so that's a good thing. On the defensive side of the football, you retain 3 of your DBs. That's a good thing as well. Let's talk about your transfer portal ranking. According to 247 Sports, you have the 46th ranked transfer portal class with 20 commits. You pulled multiple receivers into the program, a few from Miami, and a safety out of Penn State, just to name a few. Let's talk about your high school recruiting. You have the number 47th ranked high school class, according to 247 Sports, with 27 commits. The highest rated player is 4-star wide receiver Tyreek Cooper. He's a 6'2" player out of North Carolina. So there's another weapon for C.J. Bailey. Let's move over to your schedule. Now, we're going to notice something right off the bat. I'm not going to place this on the screen. I'm just going to call out the games. But you're going to notice real quick, there's 4 teams you don't have to play this year. Miami, Georgia Tech, SMU, and Clemson. They're not on your regular season schedule. Now, I'm not saying just because of that your schedule is easy, but I will put it another way. It's very doable. It's very winnable. So let's start off with the very first game of the year. This actually plays in week 0, Saturday, August the 29th. You play the Virginia Cavaliers in Brazil. It's 3:30 on ESPN. This is going to be an incredible game just for everything that is involved, right down to the location of the game. Virginia coming off of one of the best, in fact, the best season they've ever had in program history. But they do lose Chandler Morris. They brought in Bo Pribula from Missouri, and Tony Elliott has done a good job of going in and pulling weapons and for his offense. This is going to be a toss-up game. You could flip a quarter on this one. I think because of the continuity that you have with C.J. Bailey, I think this plays in your favor, and he could be the difference in this one. Next up, you'll have your season home opener on Friday, September the 11th. You're playing Richmond. You should win this ball game. There's no reason why Richmond should even compete with you in Carter Finley Stadium, one of the sneakiest places to play in all of college football. What I mean by that is, while other people are talking about the Swamp or Georgia or Neyland Stadium or Columbus, Ohio, Carter Finley is very tough to play in. It can get wild there. Next up, you're going to play Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt on September the 19th. Now, this team, Clark Lee just had a really, really good story. They had a 10-win season at Vanderbilt. They're revamping a lot of things up there. They signed a 5-star quarterback. With that said, you have your quarterback, right? You have your quarterback. They're rebuilding areas of their team. They lost Trey Richardson to Louisville, who you'll have to play. We'll get to that in a second. So, though you're away at a team who's had a lot of success, you can be competitive. We'll talk about those keys in just a moment. September the 26th, you're back at home. You're playing App State. Dowell Loggins in his second year there. He's trying to turn things around. You have a lot more going for you at this point. You definitely can beat App State. On October the 3rd, Louisville. This is the toughest game of the season, in my opinion. They're going to be coming into Raleigh. This works in your favor. Now, Brom can coach. I think he's one of the best coaches, not only in the ACC, but he's one of the top 10, top 15 coaches in all of college football. And so this is going to be a banner game for you. But for me, I think that if you can get out of this game, even with a loss that is like 10 points or less, you're still in good shape. You'll notice why. Because after this Louisville game, after this Louisville game, the rest of the 7 games are very much winnable for you. It's not like a fever dream here. On Saturday, October the 10th, you play Wake Forest in Raleigh. They have a second-year head coach. They did some good things last year. Again, you have more going for you at this point. The quarterback, the environment. We'll see there. On Friday, October the 23rd, you're at Stanford. There's no reason why Stanford should beat you. No reason. You would have to play unfocused, poor assignment football to lose that football game. On Halloween, California comes to Carter Finley. I want to pause right here. I think this is one of the sneakiest teams in all of the ACC and maybe one of the sneaky teams in college football. I don't think they're going to contend for a college football playoff or for an ACC championship, but I do believe that they will beat some teams and keep them from going to the ACC championship or maybe keep them out of the college football playoff. California, they have a new head coach. You've got to watch this game. Again, you can definitely win that one in Carter Finley. On November the 7th, you have Duke coming to town. They lost Mensa. They lost Barcade. I'm not sold on them. It's a rivalry, but they are coming to your house. On November the 14th, you have Syracuse. Fran Brown had an incredible first year. His second year was a disaster. If Steve Angeli is healthy, don't be shocked if they make some noise in the ACC. I don't think they're going to win it. Steve Angeli is incredible. This guy, if he is healthy and he comes into your stadium healthy, don't be shocked if they could beat you, but you should win that game. November the 21st, you're at Tallahassee. Forget the images of Bobby Bowden and Peter Warwick and Warwick Dunn and all the Warwicks. That team's not there anymore. No slam, Florida State. I'm not taking a shot at you. But there's a mess in Tallahassee. You can take advantage of that. And if they've had a poor season, by the time you get to this November 21st game, you could have more fans there than they have at their home. That's going to be crazy. And then the last game of the year, November the 28th, you're at North Carolina. North Carolina, the only good thing they have going for them right now is that they hired Bobby Petrino. That man can coach. So that makes everything very interesting. So let's sum this up. In the first 5 weeks, you play the 3 toughest teams of the entire season. Virginia, at Vanderbilt, and Louisville. All right? Neutral, away, and home. The key here is even if you were to lose all 3 of those ball games and then you won out, you're looking at a 9-3 football season. If you win one of those games, and I'm not saying you can't, you could have a 10-win season in the regular season. Of course, if you win 9 games, go to a bowl game and win it, you get your 10 wins. This is very doable. What are the keys? First and foremost, you must protect CJ Bailey and be creative when you need to be creative. And then just spot the football lineup and impose your will on the opposition. Your schedule's not that tough. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. You can't help that certain teams on this schedule has fell apart. You can't help that. I mean, who knew that Vanderbilt was going to be a tougher team? Who knew that Virginia was going to win 11 games last year? Who knew that Florida State would fall apart? So when we look at this, take advantage of what's sitting in front of you because it could build momentum for you in the future. Who cares what your strength of schedule is at this point? Just take advantage of it. Next up, you have a lot of transfer portal players coming in. And I think you only have 3 returning starters on the defensive side of the football. You need to get your footing. And unfortunately, you're starting off with Virginia in another on another continent. So the key there is just focus. Overall, focus, taking care of the football, taking care of CJ Bailey, letting him cook, as the kids say. You could see yourself winning 10 games this year. Hey, place in the comments section, who are some players I need to pay attention to? I know I didn't run through all the players and so on. I want to know who's the players we should keep our eyes out for on this season. Hey, tell me some of the games that you're concerned about. Tell me some of the games you think that you're definitely going to win. And maybe some of those teams are living off of last year's accomplishments versus this year's. We will see. Thank you so much for joining me. If you love talking college football, or in this case, NC State football, I hope you'll subscribe. Pass along to your fan base. Let them know I'm talking about them. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. It is free. I do appreciate it. You take care of yourself, and I'll catch you on the next one.